Let's get back to our top story today about Ukraine and Russia's push into the southeastern part of the country in the Donbas region. Ecaterina Locoman is a senior lecturer at the University of Pennsylvania and joins us now to talk some more about this. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about the region. Tell me what Ukraine could lose if Russia were to succeed here.
If Russia were to succeed in this fighting that is happening, active fighting that is happening right now in the eastern regions, then there is the risk that there could be new attacks on Kiev, on the capital of Ukraine, new attacks on the broader attacks on the country, and of course the risk of the Zelensky government being toppled and the regime change in Ukraine. So if this happens, then this is a strategic win for Russia.
So it could be a jumping off point to go back to Kyiv.
Exactly. So if there is a lot of success on the ground in Donbas right now in the eastern regions, then the Russians can definitely. There is a lot of fighting right now in the southern part, right, in Mariupol, in the city that the Russians have been trying to get for the last period of time. So there is a lot of fighting over there, and the risk again is if Mariupol were to fall, then it's going to be a strategic win for the Russian army, and then this goal of linking Crimea and Sevastopol to the land in Ukraine could be achieved.
What is your feeling on Mariupol? Because both sides have claimed victory in that now decimated city. What is your take on who's actually in control, or is anybody in control?
So from the latest reports that I've been also witnessing is that the Russians have really made gains in the city. So there were reports from some EU officials that the city could fall within days. But still, the Ukrainians are very determined, that the fighters that are still there determined to hold the ground. So they don't want to respond to any ultimatums. Actually, the Russians have put forward a new ultimatum. And they said that a ceasefire would be observed while the Ukrainians decide. But I doubt that the Ukrainians will surrender. They will fight till the end. And I think there is this. I tend to believe that the Russians kind of took mostly part of the city, but it is unclear for how long still the Ukrainians can hold, and they can hold in that a metallurgic factory that it's like the last ground that is under Ukrainian control right now.
Ecaterina, do we know if sanctions are having the desired effect in Russia? Because many had hoped, believed, or thought that by this point, Russia would have run out of steam because the sanctions were taking a toll.
Well, I think the role of the economic sanctions, they have a long-term effect. They will not necessarily have a short-term effect to influence the war, right, or to influence Vladimir Putin's decision to end the war in Ukraine. So the sanctions will definitely have an effect on the Russian economy, but not maybe as quickly as we would like them to have. Yesterday, the Russian central banker, the governor of the Russian central bank announced, that there are going to be consequences. That up until now, the sanctions affected mostly the financial markets in Russia, but right now, there is she kind of warned that they are going to affect the real economy right now, right? So the restrictions on imports, the logistics of foreign trade, this will all be affected by this, and so Russians will kind of feel the effect of the sanctions. But what I am worried about is the fact that, again, the Russian regime is using the sanctions to kind of orient the Russian public to say the West is at fault for your pain. It's not, to kind of reorient this guilt towards, again, the West, that it was the Western's fault. The West was imposing sanctions on us, so this is why we are continuing this war.
Ecaterina, I've got to leave the conversation there, but thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate that.